So back here, 91.7 The Edge, WSUW Whitewater. It's Sam with you once again. You heard the little promo about 20 minutes ago. We got ourselves a full slate today and a nearly full crew. Michael Vandershoot is not able to make it into the show today, but we still have Nick, Brendan, Nazir, and Jalen to toss some ideas around, get some things going. Gentlemen, this past weekend, now we don't have to go into details about what happened on Saturday because what happens in Spring Splash stays in Spring Splash, but how was everyone's weekend this weekend? How are we recovering, if you will?
Very good weekend.
I didn't even do much, but I'm still recovering for real. That's the crazy thing.
Still recovering indeed. You know, I took yesterday off to I had to go into work for a little bit at the Williams Center, but after that, just hung out all day, hopped on the Xbox for a little bit, got some good hours on MLB The Show, and then played some softball last night. I'm in a funk right now.
Man, I'm still
playing
tired,
softball.
Man. Every time I get up and walk, it feels like I'm still walking from Saturday. I'm just so tired.
The legs are just beat up.
Yeah, man.
My ears are still ringing.
I'll tell you what, going out Saturday night, and again, we're not going to go into much detail here, but it was hotter than hot everywhere you went, and the fuzzy feeling in your ears after you stepped outside one of the establishments, we'll call them, that was... There was definitely a fuzzy feeling in my ears. I couldn't really hear much for about 10 minutes until I got home. So we're going to kick things off right away with our Warhawk Thought. And our Warhawk Thought today, I decided to go in this route. This is a conversation that I've had with my dad and some family members before, especially with my little brother. So for those of you who don't know, my little brother is a college baseball player, and he's pretty dang good. And again, for the record, everything he knows and is good at, I taught him, right? So just getting that out of the way. Max, if you're listening, you're welcome. But if you were to be offered a contract by your least favorite team all time, right? So it doesn't matter what sport. So like, let's say for me, St. Louis Cardinals. I can't stand those guys. If I were to be offered a contract by the St. Louis Cardinals, would I take it? So we're going to start around the room first. Jalen, let's go you first.
Say it again.
If you were to be offered a contract by your least favorite team in any sport ever, would you take it?
Of course. Yeah. I don't care. I mean, I play sports for a living. Of course.
But even with, being a Cubs fan or a Bears fan, let's say, you're a wide receiver for the Packers. Do you really want to be a wide receiver for the Packers? Like, if it was your choice, would you want to go to Green Bay?
It's gonna be
I would go to Green Bay if they offered me a job today.
I like this guy. I like where that's going.
I'm trying to make a living for real.
Let's go, Nazir.
Man, if the Chiefs hit me up and said, "Hey, we want you to come broadcast," I'm taking it. I don't want to, but I'm gonna take it for the Chiefs Nation. I guess I'm a Patrick Mahomes fan at that point. After that, but deep down, still a LA Chargers fan. Always will be.
It would just be real tough, wouldn't it?
See, another thing is, if I were to go to the Celtics, that's different. I don't know if I'd be able to do it.
I wouldn't know about that either. I've been to Boston once before in my life. Boston's a fun town, but I just can't stand the green and white, man.
I love Jason Tatum, but man, that's it.
I do enjoy me some Drew Holiday still. I'm still a Drew Holiday truther. Proud and true.
As my fans of my teams, we really don't have any true rivals, but I still don't like the Cubs from 2016, so I'm going to use them for example.
Are you really hating on that first World Series in 108 years?
Yeah, when your team also has the second longest drought.
Oh, he's the Indians fan.
Yeah.
Guardians.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really don't have any rivals of the Titans or Grizzlies. I mean, maybe the Spurs, but I just despise the Cubs. Warriors do. I've got a lot of beef
Clippers
with them.
too.
But
Clippers.
that was back in the early 2010s.
Yeah.
But if I had
The
to
days of Marc Gasol.
take a commentary job if the Cubs offered, I would take it. Begrudgingly at first, but I would start talking up Wrigley and all that jazz.
Nick, what about you?
There is not a fiber in my being that would not take a job or a position on the field or court for the Lakers, because I hate the Lakers, for the Bears. You put me under center, promise you, we're going to have a better year than Caleb Williams would. That's all I'm saying. I would take it in a heartbeat. I mean, that's so easy for me.
For me, it would be very tough. Deep down, we're talking,
Of course.
if we're getting into the industry of broadcasting or being like a statistician or something like that, obviously, yes, take the job, of course. And eventually you become almost a fan of that team as well. You hope they start doing good. You want to be part of that chemistry, that air of like that aura almost of this team's good and I work for a good team. This is awesome, right? But like deep down, like fan base wise, I don't know if I could bring myself to work for a team like the St. Louis Cardinals. It would just be really tough at first. But I'll tell you what, though, if little Max Strash, and I call him little because he's 6'2", but if he becomes opening day starter for St. Louis someday, you bet I'll be first in line to buy that jersey, right? I'll be the second biggest St. Louis Cardinals fan behind my dad. He'd be number one if my little brother ended up being with the Cardinals.
See, that's different. In fact, if my like best friend was like drafted to like, I don't even know, like who's a rival of the Bucks besides the Celtics? Like
Indiana, the Pacers.
Okay, if he got signed to like the Pacers, yeah, I'm a Pacers fan.
Exactly.
I think I'd be more inclined to support a friend if they were on the team than myself. Like going to that team.
It's such a tough call, and it's something that every sportscaster or analyst or things like that go through. And then you go look at national media and you see, Stephen A. Smith, obviously one of the biggest Cowboys haters of all time, versus Skip Bayless, who's one of the biggest Cowboys fans you'll ever meet, right? It's a tough play whenever you're going into like a team affiliated job like that, or if we were to be players, playing for, let's say, Ryan Braun's from the California area, probably grew up as a Dodgers fan, right? Playing for the Brewers his whole career. Do you, like, deep down, there had to have been something that kind of hurt inside, like a little sting whenever the Brewers would beat the Dodgers? Because the Dodgers, early 2010s, they weren't the greatest.
I mean, I could see it, but if I'm getting that check at the end of the day, at the end of the week, I think I'd be able to push all previous fandom aside.
You gotta live.
Yeah, especially if you're playing.
That'd be nice, man.
You're making millies. You know what I'm saying? So like, who cares at that point? Like, I could be
still
mopping
be a fan,
the floors in Chicago's bathrooms, dude. If
Oh,
I was
the
getting
troughs of
paid
Wrigley
for it.
Field?
I'm
That
there.
would be weird.
How about that?
Let's go into our first topic of today, and that would be the NBA weekend recap. The playoffs just started this past weekend. All the game ones are done. Game twos are coming up tonight, so we're going to recap all of the first game matches from this past weekend. Let's start with Cleveland versus Orlando. The Cavs taking down the Magic 97-83. And guys, I'm a little surprised by Paolo Banchero's play from this first game. He did have 24 points, led the way for the Magic, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, but he also had 9 turnovers. The team had 12 as a whole, and he had 75% of them, and his three-point shooting was down to 28% in the game, which is down from his usual 33-34 on the season. Did Paolo Banchero and then Jalen Suggs as well. Jalen Suggs had a real rough shooting day as well. Those guys not being your 1 and 2 options in a game, is Orlando winning any games in this series if this continues?
Not a chance.
Absolutely not. No
No
way.
way.
I mean,
Maybe take one at home, but
If your
they
best
can
player is
take
giving you
one.
9 turnovers and the rest of your team is trying to make some shots and they're not hitting, they're not winning that game against an explosive team like Cleveland. It's not going to happen. And their defense is very underrated as well. Mobley and Jared Allen are unstoppable in the paint. Their only liability on defense, in my opinion, is like Darius Garland. So
Jared Allen did have 18 rebounds in that game as well, and that's another big sentiment we'll be talking about down the line, especially in the Knicks-Sixers game. But Anthony Black did not play a single minute in Game 1.
crazy.
And I know he's not the greatest scorer in the world. He's a pretty good passer. He didn't have many assists per game this year, but that's also because he played 16 and a half, 17 minutes a game. But he did start 33 this year. Not a single minute played in Game 1. Do you guys think that had anything to do with the outcome of this game? Or was Anthony Black just a non-factor?
I don't think it had too much to do with it. You might see the lineups change. They might do some adjustments, but they really didn't get much bench production. I mean, Cole Anthony didn't help at all either.
just was a sloppy game.
0 for 7.
overall.
I mean,
their
real
bench has been
talk-
a huge factor of their team this year. So
Yeah, you're
they're gonna
right.
turn up a
And
little
going
bit.
off of just how the game was, for how ugly of a game that was for Orlando, they should feel okay about how that game finished. I mean, 83-97 kept them under 100 points.
Yeah,
Mitchell went for 30.
You got to think Jalen Suggs is not going to put up only 13 points a game.
exactly. And he's also not going to miss 12 out of his 16 shots either.
I think they should cut Joe Ingles' numbers a little bit though, or not his numbers, his minutes, because
Yeah, I don't know why he's getting 15 minutes.
that was ridiculous.
I
He
agree.
looked horrible out there.
I mean, he's kind of a spark plug, kind of catch and shoot.
I think Markelle Fultz also has to step up. I mean, all the guards just need to step up because I'm telling you, once you go at Darius Garland, like ISO ball him, he's not guarding you.
Well, yeah, I mean, you had combined 0 for 11 off the bench with Fultz and Cole Anthony, so that's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe they split it going back to Orlando, but I bet it goes down 2-0.
And lest we forget, too, Karis LeVert. We've been talking highly about Karis LeVert lately on this show. Yeah. He only had 5 points on 25% shooting this game. He didn't play to his standard 6-man of the year capability, Karis LeVert, that we've been seeing all season. So not only do we think the Magic could turn things around, maybe sneak a game out of this series, but Karis LeVert's also not going to play like that every single game either. This is why it's so tough to make game one assumptions about a series based off of one game, unless it's like the finals.
Agreed.
Because the finals, you've had a lot of time to play against playoff competition. And if you lay down a goose egg in game one of the finals, it's kind of hard to come back from that. Momentum has definitely shifted. But first round of the playoffs, like, we can't make any rash assumptions, but I'm going to make one. And I've been very high on the Magic all season. You two in the Fishbowl, you were on my show first semester too. You guys know I was high on the Magic from the jump. Mm-hmm. I don't think they win a game this series.
That's not a bad take at all. I mean, I think they'll get one. I personally think they'll get one in Orlando. But
it would have to be in Orlando. You got to have the home court advantage.
They're not ready. They're simply put not ready for the playoffs yet. They're just young, inexperienced. I think I really am saddened with Wendell Carter's production too, especially with just how big the Cavs play with Mobley and Allen. He
can't do
did not
anything
look great at all, and I just don't see Cleveland. I mean, relinquishing any sort of thing to the Magic this series. It's going to be a 4-0 sweep.
Definitely not. So we're going to do this with all 8 series in the show today. We're going to go around the room quick. How many games this series go and who wins? I'll start Cavs in 4. Let's go to Jalen next.
Cavs in 4.
I'll give him 1. I'll give Cavs in 5.
Cavs in 4.
I like Cavs in 6.
Wow. Okay.
Personally,
You think the Magic take
I mean, for God's sakes, guys, it's game 1.
I agree. No, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? They held them under 100 points on their home floor.
Yeah, but they also scored 83.
Totally, 100%. I can see some adjustments. They're a well-coached team. They're young. It's a first-round matchup. I got 5 or 6.
Let's go to our next matchup here. The Knicks, the 2 seed, facing the 76ers, and they won the first game in New York, 111-104. But I'm going to keep it honest with you guys. The 76ers didn't play that bad of a game.
I was going to say, I'm not really sold. I'm not sold on the Knicks right now.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm thinking about leaning Philly.
I don't know if did you guys watch it? Actually?
Yeah, I watched it.
The end of the game, I mean, it was 104, 105.
Yeah, I'm not sold on that.
And then they fouled a couple turnovers. I mean, come on, man. That was a great game. I think this is going to be a good series to watch.
Now you see why I didn't want to play Philadelphia as a Bucks fan as opposed to Indiana. I know it's one game, but going into the playoffs, Philly was the hottest team in the league. Embiid isn't quite 100%, yet he still gave you 29 and 8. Tyrese Maxey looked fantastic. But that being said, the Knicks defensively and just that overall just ability to come down in clutch time, Josh Hart had a huge 3. He's been great this year for the Knicks. It's going to be a fun series, definitely really competitive. That first game, if all 7 games, like I think the series is going to go that way, it's going to be probably the best series in the playoffs.
I need to say something about this game. Do you guys think that you're going to get 21 off of Miles McBride off the bench every game, and you're going to get 22 points from Josh Hart every game?
I think it's more feasible that Josh Hart will replicate that
Josh Hart
performance.
is a dog.
He plays so
Maybe
much.
not 22 every game, but
15.
he did take 12 shots, which is a few more higher than his averages per the season. He also went to the line 10 times and made 8 of them. 13 rebounds as well. I mean, that was a very outlandish stat line for Josh Hart as a whole.
He's a
but
dog.
I think if you were to take one of those 2 guys and say who's going to at least come close to replicating this performance again, it's Josh Hart.
I agree. And then the other thing I had to say is, not a single one of their starters was plus anything in plus minus, and that's an extremely
That's what I'm saying.
important
This
category.
is
not
my
sold
problem
on
with plus minus though too, is that Damian Lillard was -2.
Yeah.
Joe
And he
Ingles
dropped
was the only plus for the
35.
Magic. in the
Exactly.
Magic Cavs game.
There's problems to be had with this plus minus stat in terms of overall efficiency on the floor. But when your entire starting 5 is in minus, yes, that's a problem. They still won the game and they still out-rebounded
100%.
Philadelphia by 22 boards.
Yeah.
That's not
Can't be
great when your
understated.
starting center is Joel Embiid. And yes, I know he's coming off an injury. I get that. But where is Embiid getting these rebounds?
Yes.
Where is he? Something has to change if you're Philadelphia and Nick Nurse. Something has to change here.
You need someone to step up, and I mean, the one person you really got to see step up is Tobias Harris, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Abysmal game.
That's the game he had is just like
For being the
7 points, 9
number
boards.
3 option on this team,
it's horrible.
that's
Attempting
pretty
7
dang
shots.
bad.
Kyle Lowry had a great game, man. That was
Kyle
hard
Lowry
to
did.
watch.
Kyle Lowry played tremendous.
It's
He
either
plays really
Tobias
well.
Harris or Kelly Oubre who needs to step up because 39 minutes and 10 points for Kelly Oubre is kind of ridiculous. in my
Well,
opinion.
and I'll
7
also
shots.
say this: I'm curious on how Buddy Hield fits into this series
I agree.
because I think they're gonna have to make a couple changes,
they don't play him like at all.
and they don't
He took
play
2
him
shots
much. Yeah,
all
he
game.
had 11
It's
minutes.
crazy.
I understand why they had. I don't understand why they had Batum play 26.
because he had a great game.
He's
before.
gonna average about 20 for the playoffs because he is a key contributor. But I think Buddy Hield needs to get a little bit more minutes because they're not gonna get 29 out of Embiid. I don't think
Typically,
again with that knee right now.
yeah, going into game 1s is just play the hot hand. It's
if
whoever's been hottest in like towards the end of the regular season, just play the hot hand. And Batum's had a lot of playoff success before.
And
Let's
the
not
plan
forget
was
that.
Tremendous.
I mean,
Exactly.
Why is Batum in the game?
if Joel Embiid just keeps flopping like he usually does, yeah, it's going to be very hard to beat them. So,
Dang, it sounded like a hater comment.
So
I'm a huge hater of Joel Embiid.
I love Embiid.
I love him, but like the way he plays is so obvious.
I think he has to right now with that knee.
That's me with Trae Young.
That's his whole game.
I
that he
can't
elevates.
believe. Can we talk about that self lob off the top rope, Triple H? What was
Sacrifice
that?
all that.
Why would you do that? Just busted his knee.
let's go serious prediction. Who wins? Nick, we'll start with you.
I'll switch it up. I had Sixers winning the series. I'm just going to go Knicks in 6, just due to seeing Embiid hobbled.
Knicks in 7. Home team wins every game.
That would be an interesting series.
This is a tough.
Very
this is
interesting.
a tough one for me, man. I'm gonna go Sixers in 7.
I like it. I like
I'm
it.
gonna go Sixers in 7.
Yeah, I had
think
Sixers
they're-
and 7 too.
I don't
I
think
had him
they're.
in 7 originally, but Embiid just looked a little bit too hobbled after that dunk.
If he stays okay, and this is him playing okay, 29, 6 and 8. So if he gets better,
right?
Yeah, this
So
is
that's
that
an
was
okay.
a below average game for
So
Joel.
like
Yeah.
this is an okay game for him. So if he heals up a little bit, oh, it's over.
We'll get at least 2 first-round matchups that go to 7. It happens every year.
Yeah.
So.
I like I personally like a Sixers gentleman's sweep. Maybe not in 5, but in 6.
That's bold.
That's kind of a hot
I
take.
like a Sixers gentleman's sweep because I think the perfect counter to Brunson is Tyrese Maxey, and we saw that in this game, 8 of 26. Again, Brunson's not going to have an off shooting like that every single game, but if he were to have an off shooting night like that in every single game of a series, it would be in this one going up against Tyrese Maxey 1-on-1.
And
I
on top
think-
of it, dude, he was getting. It was hard for him to get buckets. He wasn't missing good looks. They
was-
were clamping him
yes.
down.
because Tyrese is so fast. Like him and they both are like the same speed and the same height and all. So it's I don't know, man.
I like
Brunson better. I think 1-on-1 he's got Maxey by a mile.
I think it's extremely hard to win in the Garden, but Nurse has championship experience,
Right.
and the Sixers have plenty of playoff experience with one of the best players in the world
Yep.
at their 5. I do like the Sixers in 6 in this one. I just think the Knicks aren't playoff experienced enough,
Yeah.
really, to get past that. And especially once you think New York is a hard place to play, try
man.
Philly.
Philly's
Try
tough, man.
Philly.
Oh my
Philly
I
just
think-
has to figure out how to rebound the basketball.
Exactly.
And they will. They'll figure that out.
I'm sure they will. I mean, you look at the guys on this roster outside of Joel Embiid. I mean, Bamba didn't play a single minute in this one. I figured he would have gotten some time on the floor,
Especially
especially
with Embiid.
when you're seeing that this team is out rebounding you by a ton. We have Mitchell Robinson being just
He was
stuck
dog.
to the paint like glue
you
the
imagine?
entire time on defense, getting every single rebound known to man. You'd think that they'd put in the 7-2 guy off the bench,
And
but
they threw in Paul Reed.
they threw in Paul Reed and Reed. I mean, to his credit, still had 5 rebounds in 11 minutes. So I think we'll see some rotational changes there as well. Give me Philly in 6. Give me Philly in 6. Let's go to our next series here. The Nuggets taking down the Lakers 114-103. LeBron, my sunshine. Him and AD scored 59 combined. The Lakers also had 3 other double-digit scorers. Austin Reeves with 13. D'Angelo Russell with 13. Torian Prince with 11 off the bench. But my question to you guys is, does D'Angelo Russell need to touch the ball less? 30% from the
He
field,
has to
1 of 9 from
He has
3.
to get good looks.
100%.
He has to
has
get good looks.
to get better looks, bro. You're not I mean, I like that he was 1 for 9 from 3, not 1 for 3 from 3. You know what I'm saying? That he's actually shooting that thing. But 6 for 20 takes you 20 shots to score 13 points. I know LeBron don't like that.
They need to make this like a.
Yeah, but LeBron had like 7 turnovers.
He did.
Right. They need to make this kind of like a 3-on-3 kind of thing. So you got AD and LeBron, and then you got Jokic and Murray. They're the top 2 people on your teams. And then you got D'Lo, Reeves, Rui, and then you got MPJ, KCP, and Aaron Gordon.
And that
Rui
right there,
Hachimura was an
right there
anomaly.
already shows the difference.
And you like those 3, that 3-on-3 will define the series 100%. Like if you want to win the series, D'Angelo Russell needs to turn up a little bit. Austin Reeves, he needs to turn up for sure because he's got a hot hand on him every now and then.
I mean,
and then Rui has to just play outstanding defense.
After LeBron and AD, they don't really have much. But
Right,
when
that's
you
what
look
I'm
at
saying.
when you
So-
look at the Nuggets, they have an
They're just
onslaught
so-
of guys.
Well,
that come
balanced
down.
unit.
the bench game for the
So
Lakers
deep.
was ridiculous. It was only 14 points, and it was by one player, which is Taurean Prince. Spencer Dinwiddie scored 0. Gabe Vincent scored 0. Jackson Hayes was horrible. So
But
Bench is very important. We can
Every
ask,
starter for Denver in double digits, man.
Exactly.
That's a good, efficient game.
So
The bench.
well-rounded.
that's why it's looking like my prediction is wrong. I had Nuggets in 7 because I thought this would be a little bit more competitive. But like you said, it's game 1. I'm not really that worried. If I'm a Lakers fan, not yet. But I mean, you haven't beat the Nuggets in the 9 past matchups you had. So it's like,
Agreed.
can you beat them? You know?
I wouldn't be too
At some
worried.
point they will.
bench
But
is
you
very
also have to
important.
look too, man. Like, you can't even be worried as a team if you go down 2-0. You're not even supposed to lose. You're not supposed to win a road game in reality, right? So 2-0 is still not even the end of the series for you. But
Yeah, but the Nuggets can win on the road.
the Nuggets can win.
They have one. They
They've
ruined
shown it.
LeBron's 40K points. They ruined Kobe's statue like reveal. They ruined the Lake. They made the Lakers watch the ring ceremony, the first game of the season, and blew them out. So I mean,
I think we're gonna get a vintage LeBron.
It's
game,
gonna
and
it's
go
gonna
long.
come down to
That'd
the
be
bench.
awesome.
I mean, it's
I
gonna
don't
come
care who
down.
wins that series, to be
Right.
The
real.
Nuggets are
It's
just.
definitely gonna come down to the bench. You can ask Caitlin Clark that, but no, that's a different topic for another day. But yeah, it's gonna definitely come down to the bench because you're gonna see who they got coming off the bench. They got Christian Braun coming off sometime. Don't they got DeAndre Jordan still?
yeah, well,
Somehow
his
hopping
defense
out
is
there.
DeAndre Jordan, man, he's got a ring.
His
The only
defense
Lob
is
City
tough,
member to have it.
Championship
So,
experience
Peyton
can't be
Watson has
quantified.
been
Dog.
great for them. this
Reggie
year,
Jackson
too.
needs to turn up a little bit too. He was having a great regular season every now and
You
then.
know,
so-
I bet his minutes start to slip too, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Nuggets
Sad.
forced 12 turnovers compared to only 4 of their own. The Lakers won't win many games against them if this continues to be the case. Brendan, who wins how many games?
I'm going to stick with my original prediction, Nuggets in 5. I think the Lakers do take 1 at home. I think LeBron will have a quote-unquote vintage game to Nick what Nick said. But just the Nuggets, without a doubt, best in the West. Nuggets in 5.
I got Nuggets at 7 still.
Nuggets in 5. I wanted to say 4, but Nuggets in 5.
I still think that LeBron and AD are going to turn up for like next maybe like one of the 2 games they're in in LA. And
don't see it.
I don't know. It's hard to see, but I'm not going to judge up game 1.
Jalen wanted to say it. I'm going to say it. Nuggets and foe.
Nuggets and foe.
I mean,
I'm gonna say 5 to
'cause-
6. I'm gonna say 5 to 6. I'm gonna keep it real
4 is crazy.
for now.
I mean, because you don't even know if AD can keep that up.
That's
That
true.
30-point.
He's
That,
not.
that's my
double-double.
point here, too.
He's not
I
gonna
think
keep
he
that.
You can't
keeps it
stop
up.
No, he's
Jokic.
not.
I think the only person who they won't stop is AD, but that's not going to correlate to.
He's
a
not
win.
going to keep that.
Well, we got to
He's so
ask last season's series when AD had 30 and then he
And
would
then
have
12 the next
10 and
game.
then he would have 50, have almost 50 and then he would have like 8. It's like
That's why I'm saying it's
you don't
going to
know.
be closer because those like margins, like it came down to the last shot every game last year. So that's why I feel like there's no way they get down to the wire every game.
I just,
I'm
I just
curious.
don't- I
I'm
don't
curious
see it.
what y'all got to say about this.
as long as Jokic
They were up
is
by
on that
12.
team.
one of you want.
This next one here.
quick.
Yep.
This next one. The Minnesota Timberwolves proved me wrong game 1. 120 to 95, holding one of the best teams on paper to just 95 points in this one. Guys, are the Timberwolves legit?
Yes,
Absolutely.
I've been saying it all
Of course they
season.
are.
They
Of course they
legit.
are. Of course they're legit, but they're not going to beat them.
Nick
The
says
Suns
no.
are frauds.
The Suns are so fraudulent,
Oh my
but it's
God.
not.
Oh,
to
people
be-
are frauds, but
There is no way Phoenix gets out of this series. There is no chance. Not a chance.
The huge mismatch is obviously down low with Gobert and Towns going up against KD and Nurkic. That's obviously big mismatch number 1. Number 2, I mean, obviously you win by 25 points, you're going to roll out the bench. But outside of the guys that played for like the last 3 minutes of the game, like Wendell Moore and Luka Garza, TJ Warren even stepped off the bench for the Timberwolves at one point. Jordan McLaughlin was in there as well. Outside of those guys, you had 8 or 9 guys playing almost 10 minutes for the Timberwolves. I think that's where their strength comes from, is that they got some strength in numbers too.
They got some size too. Who you got? Eubanks on the bench for them size?
They're trying to figure out their recipe, man, because I think you're going to see a lot more of Nickeil Alexander-Walker for Minnesota for this series in particular.
29 minutes.
Big guard.
He looked great.
He can shoot the
really
jump
good.
shot,
He's really good.
get to the bucket, and he's a great playmaker. I like everything. Every aspect to the game for Minnesota yesterday was hit.
All right,
Not yesterday. the
I'll
day
say
prior.
this: you just can't have Rudy Gobert put up 14 points again. That's ridiculous.
You're right.
That's unbelievable. You're not gonna win the game if Rudy Gobert.
Who's going to stop him?
Well,
True.
it's true, but I mean Nurkic is strong down there in the paint. I'm just saying, if you want to win this game, you cannot allow Rudy Gobert to score 14 points, and along with the Cat scoring 19. Not the best game of him, but obviously he's coming off an injury. But still, you got to take that while you can. You know, there's no way you should let him score almost 15. That's ridiculous.
And Anthony Edwards was scoring at will.
Well, you're not gonna.
He was not
he's gonna
having a
get-
You're
problem.
not gonna stop him. That's the only guy that you.
This was another game where we saw the winning team just blow the other side out of the water in terms of rebounds. The Timberwolves nearly doubled the Suns' rebound totals, 52 to 28. And like I said, that's a testament to the size they got down low. They're also facilitating the ball a little better, 26 assists to 16, fewer turnovers than the Suns as well. Their problem comes in foul trouble. 24 personal fouls during that game. And yes, that's probably part why they also had to go into the bench as well. But think about it this way. The Suns aren't going to score less than 100 points in the rest of this series.
No way.
Want to bet?
Not a chance. There's no way that these guys go under 100 points again.
There's no way they outscore
They just got hit in the mouth. So
They have
they'd be stupid to get hit in the mouth again.
no depth. 66 of the 95 points were scored by the big three for Phoenix. That is unsustainable. You cannot have
You think Devin
two-thirds of your
Booker's gonna
points.
put up 18 only this series? No.
You think Grayson
could.
Allen
With
missed
the
both
sound-
games?
with the sound defensively as
They-
Minnesota
defense
is,
man. I said
The
that
defense
Book
is important.
struggling.
I mean, it's
He's
possible.
going to be. He's not going
they
to put up
have
18
no
every game. He's
defense.
gonna
The
put up way
Suns
more
have
than
no
that.
defense. They have no depth. To your point, Drew Eubanks and Royce O'Neal are your two biggest contributors off the bench. It's just
Eric Gordon.
But I'm not
hey,
looking
don't
at-
slight Eric Gordon like
I'm
that.
not looking at
Yeah, with his
Phoenix
0 points.
that
I think
they-
Eric
that they
Gordon
can't
shouldn't play
score.
much
That's
this
not what I'm
series.
looking at.
He's too wishy-washy.
I'm looking at Minnesota's defensive efficiency, dude. This is one of the best defensive teams that we've
best
watched
defensive
defensive
team.
team
in
It's
the
best. They're
past
not gonna
2
win.
decades.
I know they're.
This is statistically one of those teams, bro, and that's not easy to put 100 points up on them. I don't care if you got KD and Book.
They've been doing it all season. They're going to do it again.
Nazir,
Promise you.
kicking it to you. Who wins how many games?
Suns and 6, dude. I'm sticking with it.
you are.
Sticking with it.
I got the Timberwolves probably in 6. Yeah.
Stop it.
My guess has changed from Suns in 6 to Suns in 7.
There you go.
I'm gonna stick to my claim.
I
It's
saw the Timberwolves.
I got Timberwolves in 4.
That's crazy. That's wild.
Foe.
Now, that's
I'll
wild.
give
about,
Phoenix
bro?
1.
He gotta be playing.
Timberwolves in 5.
Timberwolves in 5.
I said that my hottest take for
They
this
have
whole show
no
is that
defense.
I'll give
the
him
Suns
2
ain't gonna win
games.
a
I'll
game
get
in the
I'll get the
playoffs.
Suns 2 games, but
No way.
We're going to take this one to the next series here. This is the 6th one of the 8. We got to make this a little bit quicker to get to our next topics, fellas. But this one involves our home team. What time is it?
Dame
It's Dame time. He had 33 in the first half.
35.
Bucks win 35. 35 at the end of the night, though, right?
Yeah.
It was
35
Got
in the
doubled
first
and
half.
tripled.
No, he
Rest of
didn't.
the game.
He did not score.
He
the
didn't
second
score
half.
at all.
He
in the
got
second
doubled
half.
and tripled.
okay. So 35 first half. Bucks win 109 to 94. Guys, were we wrong to be this scared about the Pacers going into game 1?
100%.
Yes,
So early.
dude.
No.
Let's roll the film
No.
back too. I was saying the same thing.
Me on the Pacers.
I'm just
I was saying
saying-
it the whole time.
While it's so up right now, this is where the Pacers come in.
You're right.
No.
This is where they come. They've been held to only under 100 points one game all season. Last night was the second.
It's not going to happen again.
I'm not worried about them winning any games in Milwaukee though. That's
No,
a
no.
21 and 20 away team this year. No way.
I'm worried about us going to Indiana and winning those
Why?
games.
Hey, I'll say
What do
this.
you mean why? We didn't win a game there this year.
I'll say this. This
That
might
crowd
be a
is gonna be
7-game
electrifying.
series and every home team wins.
There's no way.
It might be.
Oh my
I don't
God.
know.
Indiana,
It's not going to
Indiana
five.
is going to be
I
electric.
is
think
not
it
going
goes
to
to
five.
5.
It's not
But
going to 5.
Here's the thing. So Pascal Siakam obviously played his best basketball all season last
face
night.
it, yeah.
36 points, 15 of 25 from the field. Only shot 1 of 4 from 3, but he's never been the biggest three-point shooter in his entire career. 13 rebounds as well. My big thing was that the Bucks and Doc Rivers, and this is what I was saying last week too, is that we hadn't played the Pacers with Doc Rivers as our head coach yet. He's had all year to get worried about facing this team and really study hard and figure out their weaknesses and things like that.
And they still
and not
making
only
a
figure
comeback.
out their weaknesses, but figure out our strengths and how to combat Tyrese Halliburton. Pat Bev and Malik Beasley were tied to that man's hip the entire night, and the only times he was able to score was when he either A, found an open look, or B, Damian Lillard was on him.
And he
Was
still
his
almost had a
assignment.
triple-double.
That's a great take,
9
actually.
points.
That's good.
I'm so scared.
9-point triple-double
You know
nearly.
what's the
9, 7,
who the
and 8.
best
I
player?
keep sleeping,
Who
I'm
the
just
best
telling you,
player
man, I'm
yesterday
just-
was though? Chris Middleton.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Is
Thank
Chris
you.
Middleton going to be
23
sustainable?
points.
Is he gonna do that every night?
Playoffs,
No.
he is. I mean, 9 for. I mean,
Post
come on.
CJ McCollum trade, who was Damian Lillard's number 2?
Wait,
Jeremy Grant. That's my point.
I would say,
he's never
yeah,
had that good of a number
Anthony
2
Simons, maybe.
outside of CJ. And his best days with the Blazers were after CJ got traded. This is where Damian Lillard plays his best basketball, when he is the true number 1 of a specific offense, and having Cash Money Chris, who, to his point, has been one of the best playoff performers in Bucks franchise history throughout his career as his number 2.
that's not even biased.
gotta
That's
stop
I'll
just
the
start
fact.
this
from
one.
Middleton.
Bucks in 5.
We gotta-
100%
We got to
agree.
stop the glazing.
Bucks
on
and 5. I
Middleton.
like that.
I called them cuties last Monday, and they are still cuties. They were fun to watch in the regular season. Oh, wow, we could score 120 points per game. You're still giving up 120 a game. The defense and lack of playoff experience is why I have no fear of Indiana at all. Bucks and 5.
Bro, they left 33 points and 20 rebounds on the bench with a calf injury. So let's calm down.
Tyrese Halliburton shot the
Anyone
ball
who-
7 times.
Exactly.
Because he
Can we
couldn't get it
chill?
off, bro.
That's what I'm trying to say, bro. He shot the ball 7 times. Hey, if we win in 7. If we lose in 5. So
You are. There's no way you
All right,
actually
all right.
realistically see that happen.
I 100%
just
see that happen.
there is
And
no
Tyrese
way.
is not gonna have
You know,
a bad
better
game
than
like that.
just Bucks in 5. Bucks in 5, and Giannis doesn't touch the floor
All
the
right.
entire
Yeah, let's-
series.
I don't doubt
Absolutely.
that.
I'm
I
sorry.
can see it, dude.
about?
If you want to make sure he's fully 100%, and
Yeah,
this
don't
type
play.
of play
I agree.
style,
Don't play him.
They can win in 5
That's what I'm
without
saying.
Giannis.
I agree.
We just saw it
That's
last
what I'm saying.
night.
He
Or
doesn't
2
touch
nights
the
ago.
floor once.
Or that
I
was
literally
last
told my mom this yesterday. Don't
Tyrese
play
is
Giannis
not-
this whole series.
Tyrese is not.
he
doing
won't
that.
touch the floor one time.
Tyrese is
and we're
shooting the
gonna win
ball
in
more
5.
than 7 times next game.
You're gonna
Yes,
have
and
Pat- you're
they'll
gonna
win
have
game
Pat Bev in
2,
those
and
first
then
5
not win
games.
it.
either.
And it is so fun to watch Chris Middleton get to that mid-range.
He was clamping Halliburton.
glazing
That was one of
Middleton, bro.
Halliburton's worst performances of the year. Do not
Game
sleep
one.
on Pat Bev's impact as a
Game one.
The
Milwaukee.
glazing in Middleton is insane.
I got Bucks winning, but man, you guys are really sleeping on the Pacers for now.
All right, let's talk about
Series number 7.
Next.
The Clippers. The Kawhi-less Clippers, a team that has had an injury affect them every single year since 2014. 109-97, taking down the Dallas Mavericks, who, Brendan Donlevy, we'll start with you. You had the Mavs winning this one. Why?
I had, especially with Kawhi out, and as hot as Dallas was to finish the regular season, I was really expecting Luka and Kyrie to show out, which they did. But
They did.
the
64.
that being said, with Luka and Kyrie, I was expecting way more from the other pieces they acquired, such as PJ Washington and stuff. And overall, it was sloppy. It just wasn't the basketball the Mavs played the last 10 games of the regular season. I thought the Clippers looked great defensively. It was a bit sloppy for the Clippers at times, but Harden showed why he can be. And if the Clippers can continue playing basketball like this, they are a team to fear, just because of how much star power they do have. 100%.
Now, Nick, the in-house Clippers fan, what were your thoughts in this game?
not impressed. Not one bit.
No.
James
I
Harden
disagree.
is not putting up 28 and 8 ever again. The rest of this series, it's not going to happen. First off. Secondly,
Good.
Paul George took 20 shots to score 22 points. I have never seen him struggle so hard
Yep.
to just get open. I mean, realistically, they were white on rice the whole game. He could not move. Every one of his step backs, he's getting block jump shots. It was hard to watch. The best player on the court, though, was Ivica Zubac,
Yes.
Big Zoo, baby.
Huge.
which was crazy.
20 and
points,
15.
15
Big
boards.
Zoo, baby. I've been saying it all year.
With one turnover.
He's a staple, man.
He was playing just uber efficiently. They honestly, they couldn't guard the most guardable shot on the court, the 2 dribble back down right hand post hook. They couldn't do anything about it. I think Gafford struggled mightily.
He sucked.
They tried to put in Maxi Kleba on him, and he couldn't do anything. They're going to probably bring a double on that. I don't think that whatever the Clippers did yesterday is sustainable at all. And I go as far to say they lose game 2.
Do we know how long Kawhi is out for?
I am just going to say, from everything that I've known and become to learn as a Clippers fan, you will not see Kawhi Leonard suit up this year. Just saying, because they will be eliminated from playoff contention before that happens. They will win this series in 6 or 7 games, but Kawhi Leonard will not play.
Their downfall is the only player that touched the floor for the Clippers last night that didn't have a turnover was Mason Plumlee, and he was only out there for 12 minutes.
Yep.
Let's go around.
I think it's impressive, though, to think that, the Mavericks big men, they just struggled so much, and the main cause is Zubac.
Luka and Kyrie remind me of those Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani memes where you'd see
In that game
Mike Trout
especially.
4 for 5 with 3 solo home runs, and Shohei Ohtani on the mound hasn't done anything like this since Tungsten Arm O'Doyle in 1921.
As the Angels
lose to the Tigers 8-3.
Gotcha.
Right.
But
the Clippers won this game despite Luka and Kyrie combining for 64 points. They had 30 each.
Sure.
Outside of that, they had one other double-digit scorer, and it was P.J. Washington. In 36 minutes, he had 11.
But that's not going to happen again. I'm sorry. I don't think they're both going to go for 30 again. I think they're
have
going to
to.
be more efficient, and they're going to get more out of Hardaway. They're going to get a 12-point game out of Kleba or something like that. They're a collective group over there. I know that Luka and Kyrie get theirs, but I don't know. I expect to see the three-headed monster for the Clippers roll out on their centers with Tice and Plumlee as well.
Let's go Jalen first. Who wins how many?
I want to say the Mavs in 6, but after what I've seen from James Harden, especially with Zubac, I'm probably going to say Clippers in 6.
I like that too. I'm also going Clippers in 6.
You know what?
That's
I'm
tough,
just
though.
going
That's
to go with
tough.
this. I'm going to go off gut. This team looked better without Kawhi. Right now, I'm going to go Clippers in 5. My original pick was Mavericks in 6. We'll see how they can compete.
They in Dallas?
I'm going to stick with my original
So they don't
Mavs
win,
in
okay.
7, but this is going to be one of the most fun series along with Philly and New York. Mavs in 7.
Clips in 6. I really want the Clippers to make the finals, but it's going to be a tough one. They're going to have to really go at it.
Now our last one. Everyone say it with me. Celtics in 4.
Celtics in 5.
Easy
Yeah,
check.
that's
Easy.
Just,
Dude,
Yeah,
it's
barbecue
5:38. Do we really feel the need to
Yeah,
dive
sweet.
deep
No,
into
that's
this
barbecue
one?
chicken.
There's nothing to
No.
dive into.
What
They
about
are
New
sweeping.
Orleans?
That's
and-
barbecue chicken.
I
New
do want
Orleans
to
and the
talk about
Thunder.
New Orleans
We do have
and
one
OKC.
more.
Well, we already know Boston's winning in 4. No
Yeah,
Jimmy Butler.
exactly.
That's
Look,
a
man,
given.
all I got to say is if Zion was playing last night, they win by 20 points.
Because the
That's all I
Thunder
gotta
are
say.
not ready for the playoffs.
They could not guard, and they played great defense, but at the end of the game, they just played horrible offense, and Zion gives them all that offense that they need when it comes to being in the paint and explosive. Zion would have put up 40 points last night if he played. Because no
100%.
one on that team is guarding Zion. I promise you.
He'd
that.
go right through.
Yeah,
Chet.
I did forget.
Oh my God, Bobby
this was
Portis
the
was
one
giving Chet the
series
work.
I did not happen to look at today. I was off by 1. The Thunder did win game 1, 94-92.
Not impressed.
But are they winning another game this
no.
series?
No, if Zion
yes.
somehow comes, yes, they will win
They
another
will
game.
because
It's going to go to
Pelicans.
7.
The Thunder will
It's gonna go to
still
7.
win the series.
It's going to go to 7.
but it's not going to be nearly
Man,
convincing,
dude.
and they're going to get walked by
Valanciunas
Dallas
was
or
babying
the
Chet.
Clippers.
Valanciunas was literally babying Chet the entire game.
And not even just
Well,
that.
look at the frame of the guy.
Exactly.
I mean,
He's a
nobody was
Valanciunas is this
rushed.
big Baltic
Now-
European fella down low, grabbing
imagine
every
if-
single basketball.
The
known to man,
Lithuanian
he's 20
hammer.
rebounds.
Now imagine if Zion was playing. Oh my goodness.
It's
not
exactly.
even fair.
The Thunder.
Well,
are
actually, I
just
think
not
that's
ready.
an advantage then for Valanciunas, though.
What
with
do you mean?
Zion not playing.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I'm just saying,
it's the
if
highlight
Zion
of
was
the
playing
offense, right?
offensively, that team would be like unstoppable compared to the Thunder.
I want to see more out of Brandon Ingram, dude.
He's
Well, he
struggled
came off an
yesterday.
injury. He's off an injury still. He's still struggling a
he
little
was
bit.
making just the toughest shots I've ever seen, and then missing his wide open looks.
They would've
Man,
won
that
the
was a
season.
surprise.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I did not think that this game was going to go like that. Man, I like OKC. Unfortunately, I don't want to say it because
I want them
don't
to
like
win
this
too,
team.
but
don't
I
like
want
this team.
OKC to win, but like not if they're playing Zion. so.
OKC is going to win this in probably 6 games, but they will not go past the second round.
So we'll start with you then, Nick. You think OKC in 6?
I can see OKC in 6. I don't want it because I like this Pelicans team though.
As much as I've called OKC fraudulent, if Zion's not 100%, OKC still will win the series, but it'll be in 6 or 7. I'll go 6.
Yeah, I have to agree. Shea's my MVP, but you know, man, no Zion's gonna suck. So I got OKC. If he comes back, they're winning, but OKC in 6 for now.
Jalen.
OKC in 6.
I'm going to ride OKC in 7.
Okay.
I think it's a tight one, but I also think, Oklahoma City is just that little cousin that keeps running up to you, tugging on your pocket, saying you have games on your phone. And that's how they're going to be the rest of this series. They're just not going to go away. So I've got to ride with them. OKC in 7. We're moving on really quick. This should be a quicker segment. Let's just go around the room real quick. This is the MLB Top 10. I asked you guys to fill in your top 10 teams right now in the MLB. We're about 15% of the way through the season. I'll start with mine. And in honorable mentions, we'll go out to the Seattle Mariners, Texas Rangers, Cubs, and the New York Mets. The Mets really started turning things around after that opening series sweep at the hands of the Milwaukee Brewers, who I do have in this top 10. Not really surprising at this rate anymore. At the beginning of the season, you called me crazy. But let's start with my number 30, the Chicago White Sox. All right, I just felt like getting that out of the
They're
way.
so bad.
Number 10, I'm going to go San Diego. I feel like San Diego is a good spot for the number 10.
I like that.
I just think that their pitching is really shot a little over their pay grade this year, and the addition of Dylan Cease certainly helped to get them to where they are right now. Losing out on Blake Snell was huge, but getting a guy like Cease back, even if it's just for a year, is a very nice addition for that rotation. Number 9, let's go Kansas City. Kansas City Royals, they're red hot. These guys are good. Cole Ragans is a bona fide Cy Young candidate this year. The bats are cooking. Vinny P's here. Bobby Witt. Man, oh man, that guy might mess around and make the top 5 MVP conversation by the end of the year.
This rate, man.
I wasn't expecting you to say that. I'm not gonna lie.
Number 8, let's go Toronto. Toronto, I just think on paper is still one of the best teams in the American League. I had them as my World Series team last year, and then Seattle, of course, had to upset them in the wild card round. That was 2 years ago, excuse me. But last year, I also had them as my World Series team. They did not do so good. I still have them, though. On paper, they're very great. Let's go number 7, the Cleveland Guardians.
Only 7?
Brendan, I have them at 7. You think they should be higher?
At least 5. 5 or 6.
At least 5?
5 at the max, I meant to say.
So
5
the
is
reason I put them at 7 is because number 6 I have the Phillies and number 5 I have Baltimore. I think that if you were to put those two teams, one of those two teams against Cleveland in a 7-game series, Philly and Baltimore would beat them in a 7-game.
I agree. I just think right now, just with best record in baseball, best run differential, I think you have to be 5 or 6.
I had to at least include them in the top 10. Number 5, like I said, Baltimore. Number 4 is Milwaukee. Number 4, I think Milwaukee has a case to be in the top 3. I just think they're way too young and they're a little streaky at times, especially with the pitching, and then just bad luck going their way, especially in that San Diego series. But I think if they were to match up against San Diego again in a 3-game or a 4-game, they'd win that series, no questions asked. Then the top 3, Rock Chalk, 3-2-1, Dodgers, Yankees, Braves. That's a fair take.
Yeah.
Jalen, let's go you.
I got the Rangers at number 10. Number 9, I have the Mets.
Mets have been hot.
Number 8, I have the Royals, actually. Yeah, the Royals have been playing. They're on fire right now. I got the Dodgers at 7.
Okay.
Cubs at 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, when you look at it,
the Dodgers in a 7-game series, though? Cubs beating the Dodgers in a 7-game
well,
right now?
I mean, we talk about power rankings right now. They won the series.
I do remember that.
They won the
Shoda's
series
a
head to
dog.
head.
I do like Shota.
Number 6, I'm probably going to give it to the Phillies.
Oh, that's low.
Number 5. Well, MLB got him at 7, but they'll probably put the Orioles at 4 and at 5, and then the Brewers at 4. Number 3. Let's see, where did I put it at? I got the Guardians.
Heck
Okay.
yeah.
Number 2, I got the Braves, and number 1, the Yankees.
Got it. Nazir.
At 10, I got the Orioles. Then at 9, I'll go Blue Jays. At 8, I'll go Dodgers. 7, I'll go Brewers. 6, 6, I'll go Rays. Or not Rays, my bad, Royals. Sorry.
Tampa Bay. You might as well put the
Not
Rockies in
Rays,
there.
Royals, relax.
Hey, the Rockies are cooling at 29 right now, man. Let's be real.
What am I at? All right, 5? Am I at
Yeah,
5?
number 5.
All right, 5, I'll go Phillies. 4, I'll go Yankees. 3, I like the Guardians right now.
We are so
And then
hot.
Orioles.
Good,
Braves.
Orioles, Braves.
Yeah.
You got it. Brendan, spread that Guardians propaganda.
Honorable mention to the Boston Red Sox because their
Okay.
rotation has been tremendous this
Cutter
year.
Crawford, Brian Bayo, they've been pretty dang good.
I'm going to go Cubs 10,
Yep.
Royals 9.
What?
Royals have been tremendous.
They're just
What?
7 and 8
There's no
against
way he
everyone
has the
else.
Dodgers above the Cubs.
Aren't the Royals like 7 and 8 against everyone
They
else?
just
though?
lost
That's
the
only
series to the
issue.
Mets.
That's my only issue with them. But
I'll go Philly 8, Milwaukee 7.
Okay.
I like Milwaukee. They're off to a great start. I just want to see it sustained.
You need more.
Yep,
That's
same.
fair.
Baltimore 6, Dodgers 5,
Real.
and did I leave a team? Oh, I did leave a team out. I'm going to put the Rangers at 10. So
everything else moves up a spot.
Everyone got
So
bumped up a
Dodgers would be
spot.
4.
Yes. So then that would leave the top 3 teams still Guardians, Yankees, Braves. I'm going to put the Guardians at 3, Braves 2, Yankees 1. I meant to say Rangers 10.
Guardians have not been mad this year,
Y'all have
fellas.
the
Nick, let's
Cubs
go
lower
you really
than the
quick.
Dodgers?
I'm gonna go
It's just because of the overall star power of their lineup.
honorable mention.
They just
San
lost to
Diego
the
for
Nationals.
11.
Yeah.
I got
San Diego 11.
Diamondbacks at 10.
Yep. That's
got-
kind of high for them though.
still
I
don't-
like it though. I
I
still
think they're
like
a
it.
one-season
There
wonder.
wasn't
I got
there wasn't a lot of
Cubs.
roster turnover there, so I like them.
I got Cubs at 9.
Yep.
I got Phillies at 8.
Yep.
That's low.
Rangers at 7.
Okay.
I like that.
I
gonna
I
go
like
with
that
that.
too, but
I
I,
didn't
think
think about
that's their like ceiling right now.
Yeah, I didn't think
Right
about
now.
that one though.
I'm gonna go. Let's see. I guess I can put Cubs at 6.
Up there.
I'll go Brewers 5. No,
Bye.
I take that back. I take
Oh.
that back. I'm gonna go Orioles 5.
Bye.
Cleveland and Milwaukee in the top 4.
Cleveland 4. Milwaukee 3.
Cleveland 4?
Ban him. Chat, ban him.
How do y'all have the Dodgers
Cleveland?
above the Cubs, bro?
Dodgers 2.
They're nice.
Braves 1.
They just lost
Very
3
fair.
series in a row.
They're still nice.
They lost to the Padres.
The
They just
Dodgers
lost
will automatically just be in the
to
top
the
10
Nationals
every-
at home.
They're always gonna be in the top 10.
And they lost
right.
to the Mets
Didn't
at
you
home.
guys just lose a series to the Marlins?
It was a tie, too. It was 2-2.
Forget about it.
It's only the Marlins.
Did we just
Forget
beat the
about
Dodgers
it.
in the series? Oh, yeah.
They're still gonna
Guardians to the World
Let's
Series.
go our NFL draft hot takes here. Last segment. I brought in some prompts. We're going to talk about these prompts. These are all topics that I feel like you could make the case for all of these. And some of them I truly believe, but I'm not going to tell you which ones I truly believe. First one here. Caleb Williams is a top X quarterback in the NFL right now. What number in the top 32 would you say is Caleb Williams right now? Let's start with Nick.
30.
30. Really? Explain.
That's tough.
I don't know, man. He's going to Chicago.
Wait. What's the question? Sorry. say it
Caleb Williams is a top blank quarterback in the right now. Where would you put Caleb Williams in the top 32?
And a quarterback like
You know
Yes.
what? I'll
Top
give
quarterback
him,
tier
I'll
list.
give him some. I'll put you exactly where I think he'd be. He'd be in between 22 and 30.
Okay, that's fair.
as much as I have hated on him in the past, compared to the league right now, I think 25 to 20 is a reasonable range. I don't think he'll ever surpass being a top half quarterback in the NFL, but right now, 25 to 20, that range. I'll say 24.
Wait. You said you don't think he'll ever be a top 10 quarterback?
Not in
No.
Chicago, brother.
I'm not sold on Caleb Williams at all as an NFL.
I mean,
I
this
don't
is
care
just
how
the,
good
this
I
is
love
just
his
the
college
Justin
career. I
Fields
just
enigma
haven't-
all over
Justin
again.
Fields
if you
was
think
pushing
about
it for
it.
a little bit. He was pushing.
I think
He was a top 10 fantasy quarterback.
Everyone else thought that
statistically,
Trubisky
he was
gonna
almost
be all
there.
right, too, and
I
that
just-
wasn't the case.
I'm
Yeah,
just
but
not high
Justin
on
Fields did
Caleb
it in the
Williams.
NFL. We don't know what we're getting from Caleb Williams.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
They
we
should've
didn't know
had
we were
Fields.
getting Justin Fields. He did it. That's what
You're
I'm
getting a smaller, less mobile field.
Pretty much, yeah, I'd say. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go top 20 probably for him. Caleb Williams.
Already.
Top 20.
I mean,
okay.
I feel like he's gonna be better than 10 other quarterbacks starting right now. I feel
Jalen, you're the in-house Bears fan. Where's Caleb Williams right now?
Yeah, I could agree with Brendan, probably 20, 25 range.
Okay.
I mean, he hasn't proved nothing yet.
Right. Exactly. I mean, he's still a rookie. I mean, we can't make the assumption.
There are
I can't say much until I actually see it with my own eyes that he can surpass Fields.
I mean, dude, a rookie of the year candidate's not going to be a top 15 quarterback, though. You know what I'm saying?
Unless
Like,
you
where do
get
you, like,
Stroud.
where do you put Stroud right now?
Bro, Stroud's like top 5.
I think he's top 10 for sure.
Top 5.
Top 5 is
top 10.
I think top
I'd
10
say
for
top
sure.
five.
We don't need to have,
I'd say
another
So Caleb
quarterback.
Williams replicates that. He's got to be at least top 10. I think he has the potential to do that, which is why I'm going to put him, especially because you got to consider after the draft, the Bears are going to have much better skill positions and probably a little bit more bolstered offensive line
Fields got
as we
done
get into
dirty.
season number, as we get into week 1 of Caleb Williams' first season. I'm going to put him in the 10 to 15 range.
Wow, that
And I'm not the biggest Caleb Williams guy either. But you got to think about things like this too. You
got
got
hot
to
in
think
here.
about some guys that are falling out of that range. Some older guys.
Who?
Some certain Kirk Cousins guys.
No, he's
Well, what about some of the young,
Yeah,
the
Cousins
young
is still
cats that
top
had
I
some
think Caleb
injuries,
Williams
though?
is already better than Kirk Cousins. He hasn't even stepped on the field yet.
Do you think Caleb Williams would be better than Trevor Lawrence?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
Trevor's
You think
massively
Trevor's
think
overrated.
that right now?
I don't think Trevor's
He
Right
had
now,
me last year.
I'd have Trevor Lawrence in my 10 to 15, so I think there's definitely a case.
You do not
He's
know
a
how
top
good Tim
15
Duncan was.
quarterback.
Trevor Lawrence 10 to 15.
Trevor Lawrence is not top 10. Not
He's
even
top 15.
No,
Trevor
he's-
Lawrence
that's what I'm
is-
saying. In the range of
He
10 to
is
15.
15. He might be
In the
15.
range of 10 to
Not
15.
With a
Trevor Lawrence is
healthy
not a
knee?
top 16 quarterback. in the
Yes,
NFL.
he is.
No, he's
You
not.
get out of here.
Trevor Lawrence sucks.
Let's
bro.
go to our next little prompt here. The best player in this draft is not a quarterback.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah.
Fact or cap?
100%.
Facts.
I would agree. I think Joe Alt, probably the best
Joe
prospect
Alt
in this
is the
draft.
best prospect in this draft, hands down.
And like we talked about pre-show, if the Commanders were smart, they would have kept Sam Howell and drafted Alta too.
I like Byron Murphy, man. I'm not gonna lie. I really like Byron.
I don't mind Byron Murphy either. I also think that you can make the case that one of the wide receivers, one of the top 3 guys available at wide receiver, is the best draft prospect in this draft too.
Neighbors, Malik Neighbors.
Malik Neighbors,
Over
MHJ, Roma
No,
Dunze.
but I don't think we're gonna get
You
him,
can make
so.
the case.
Who's the? Can I throw something in here? Who's the best wide receiver in the draft?
Neighbors.
Marvin Harrison.
Marvin Harris.
Neighbors.
Neighbors.
I think it might be a Doomsday, maybe.
I like
No,
the
Even the
way.
Neighbors
it's
are
not
Marvin
Neighbors.
Harrison.
It's not. It can't. It's not a dude. I
Marvin
think
Harrison is
okay.
just-
either Harrison or Neighbors. I'll give it that.
Neighbors and Harrison are a
just-
lot
I don't know,
closer.
I
I
like
think
what I
it's.
saw
I
from
think
the
in terms
Doomsday,
of
just like-
non-quarterbacks, it
Well,
goes
I ain't saying
Alt,
it's a blowout.
Harrison, Neighbors, that order.
I-
Top 3 non-quarterbacks.
That's fair.
I think it's really close between Harrison
But
and
don't you
Neighbors,
think?
but the
Don't you
Doomsday's
think?
Yeah,
Alt's
Harrison
kind of
and
a
Neighbors
safe
are right
pick,
there.
though, just because he's so. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
I feel like most of the time when you got a tackle or a guard
Yeah.
and they're that good,
That's how Slater was.
it's kind of just there. You know what I'm saying?
It's a best player on the board pick.
Joe Alt
Exactly.
is the best prospect in this draft.
So, speaking of Marvin Harrison Jr. and the other receivers in the bunch, one of Marvin Harrison Jr., Roma Dunze, or Malik Neighbors will fall past the top 15 picks.
No, that's crazy.
Not gonna happen.
Well, every year, here's my thought process. Every year, you always have teams that are going to pull something out of nowhere. Like last year, the Raiders with Tyree Wilson at 7 of all places. Where was he going before that? Not till like the late 20s. Chop Robinson, we've been seeing fall down as far as the middle 2nd round
Which is
in
absurd.
some mocks. I think Chop Robinson's a top 10 player in this draft. There's going to be teams that fluctuate in and out, especially the teams that need quarterbacks. J.J. McCarthy's probably going top 10 now. That knocks at least one of those guys down. Guys like Neighbors or Adunzi and most mocks aren't going till like 8, 9, 10 anyways. You get a few teams to trade up or you get some dumb picks going in the top 10. Obviously, dumb is subjective, but you get some dumb picks going in the top 10. I think it's very feasible that one of those 3 falls past the top 15.
I think it is too.
To be fair, everyone had Brock Bowers in like their top 10, and now he's like probably projected like to be like 20. So
Exactly. Jackson Powers Johnson's been going up and down.
Yeah.
Talise Fuaga's been going up and down. There's people saying that Olu Fashanu might be falling into the top 20, out of the top
I can see
15
it.
into
I
like
can
the
see it.
20.
Well, there's
I
people like
first.
me that say
slept on.
Penix is going to get drafted before J.J. McCarthy.
Penix.
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 Michael Penix Jr.
Michael Penix Jr. There's,
like
Penix
Penix.
Jr. might go.
I think he
Here's
goes
this
before
next
J.J.
one.
McCarthy.
Does Bo Nix get taken in the first round, especially with the interest from the Broncos?
yeah,
I'd hope so because I think he's an NFL talent.
There's just no way.
There's such a big
It's
Drew
gonna
Brees
happen.
comp with him, and Sean Payton being the Broncos head coach, he obviously wants his new guy.
I just can't believe 6
Nix is
quarterbacks
tough.
are going to go round 1 this year.
Yeah.
I think maybe.
I think so,
one
and
or
I think
two.
Penix
Well, a lot
is
of
going to
teams
have a
are
Lamar
desperate.
Jackson pick where he goes like 32nd to some team that trades up with the Chiefs.
The best QB in this draft is Jaden Daniels. I will live by that. I've said that before. But I can't believe so many teams are QB.
I don't like these
all these
quarterbacks.
all these.
I'm not
teams,
super high on any of them either. I think
I was
the guy
saying
I'm
this.
highest on
I've
is
been
JJ
saying
McCarthy,
this
I'll
since
be
the
honest.
beginning that I don't think any of these guys will be starting quarterbacks in 5 years. I don't think so.
At least like 2 of them
not a
will
bad
be,
take.
but I think
That's
that's
not-
not.
okay, that's not a
take
bad
at
take.
all.
Most drafts are like that.
So last one here.
Jaden McDaniels.
The
Jaden
last one I
McDaniels.
want to bring up
That's
here.
tough.
We've been talking about quarterbacks. There's one specific team with one specific quarterback who's about to turn 40 on the last year of his deal there, unless he signed an extension that I'm not aware of. A certain Aaron Rodgers and a certain New York Jets. I don't see the Jets taking a quarterback in the first round, but the New York Jets will take a quarterback day 2.
They should.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
They just traded
He's
Zach
there-
Wilson.
Is he there through
Should they
26?
trade up to go get a quarterback?
I think he's there
I
through.
think he's there to 2025.
Because I thought he signed
So
a 3-year
he would have
deal.
He would have at least one more
He has
year.
1 more year after that.
Would
So-
you
After
sign
this
up
year.
for
I think
the
so.
Jets to go trade up into the top?
No,
of
he
the
only
draft
signed a
and get
2-year
big
deal,
one?
didn't he?
Not a chance. Not a chance.
No.
I think if a guy like
That's just putting Aaron Rodgers through Brett Favre purgatory
if Jaden
over
Daniels
and over again.
fell out of the top 10 somehow,
That's where you do it.
yeah.
I think they draft a quarterback late, maybe if they want to.
Who do they go? Rattler, Pratt.
Bowers
I
dropped
think
deep.
Jordan Travis would be the best if you had to go at A2.
That's such a toss up though, especially with his gruesome injury history. Like
I don't think he'll get J.J. McCarthy.
McCarthy's going top 5.
JJ McCarthy's not an
The
NFL
Vi-
quarterback.
but not because one
picking
of the
him?
teams in the top 5
Who
will
is
want-
picking
it's-
JJ McCarthy?
It's not. It's not
Broncos
because
are going to do it.
the Broncos are the Vikings. The Vikings might trade up and take
There's a
McCarthy in
lot
the
of
top 5.
speculation.
Chargers
with that
Because the
coming.
Cardinals had pick 4, and that's definitely a best player on the board pick. And at that point, you're taking receiver because the top 3 are more than likely going to be the usual suspects of
Williams,
Caleb
Daniels,
Williams,
May.
Daniels, and Drake May. So if you're the Vikings and there's some other quarterback-hungry teams that are A, right above you, and B, right below you, and you have Sam Darnold as your starting quarterback week 1 right now, and no other quarterbacks on the roster,
So-
you have to trade up for a guy like J.J. McCarthy.
So
They're
you're
gonna
saying-
draft
Trade up
QB.
and JJ
Here-
McCarthy
I
should
think I know
never,
what you're
ever
about to
be in the
say.
same
So you're
sentence.
saying Marvin Harrison to number 5.
Yes, but here's what I'm also thinking too, is that Jim Harbaugh wants to kind of restart things in L.A.
Kinda.
And
Herbert to
there's
the
a
Vikings?
a
Stop it.
very specific.
All right, let's relax.
And
I
I'm
don't
not even
wanna hear
talking
it.
about just the Vikings.
I don't want to hear any of that.
Keenan Allen just went to Chicago.
Justin Herbert is not going to Chicago. I don't want to hear it.
I don't know. He
Oh my
might.
gosh, can we stop the?
Dude, I would be so upset.
I wouldn't be a Chargers fan.
I do not
That'd
want
be
Justin
crazy.
Herbert in the
Actually,
NFC.
Yeah, you would love it.
Antonio
That would be
Brown's a Herbert
insane.
to
That'd
trade.
be nuts.
So yeah,
That would be
that's
insane.
not from
Source.
Antonio Brown, but it makes sense.
He loves Justin Herbert to the core already. No, it's not
Do you
happening.
you
think?
imagine that
Okay,
trade?
if you had Justin Herbert or your quarterback who you just won a college football championship with,
Herbert.
and he's there,
Taking Justin
he's
Herbert every
there
single time.
at
I would
five?
rather
Taking Justin
I would
Herbert.
rather
Do you
the
not
Chargers
move
trade for
Herbert
the
to
team.
restart?
No,
The team just won 5 and 12.
I'm taking Herbert.
What are we calling it?
The team
was
20
out
out
of
of
the
Chargers or the
Anything I
Los
would
Angeles
rather
Justin
have.
Herbert is-
If
I'm
anything, I would rather have
That's
the
not a
Chargers
bad
trade with the
idea.
Bears
JJ
for the
McCarthy
number 1
is
pick.
not an NFL quarterback.
Not
Wow.
McCarthy,
Okay,
bro.
hold on.
He's
Hold the
not.
phone.
What'd he say?
Hold
JJ
the
McCarthy is
phone.
not an NFL quarterback. He's not.
You'll see him in UFL in 5 years.
Bro, he's just pointing.
That's not a bad.
That's not a fire bad take.
No, that's a bad take.
What do you see in
J.J.
JJ
McCarthy is a
better
McCarthy? What do you
quarterback.
see in him?
J.J.
not
McCarthy
bad.
is the best quarterback in this draft.
I mean, as long as he can hand the ball.
Whoa.
No,
There
we're
goes
done.
Brendan.
You guys, we'll see you next Monday here on our.
We'll see you next Monday on Hawk
Brendan's
Talk
backing
Family.
up early. We're out of here on 91.7 The Edge, WSCW Whitewater. You've been listening to the most chaotic Hawk, like 10 minutes of Hawk Talk you'll probably hear all season. There
Monday
you
is the
go.
best.
Catch him on the
He's out of here.